I recently just saw the movie The Fourth Kind, a fact-based thriller where they talk about detailed extraterrestrial encounters in Nome, Alaska. This movie really piqued my interest and opened my eyes to the fact that there very well could be aliens around us. The movie included live video footage of interviews with people who had experienced some encounters and made contact with extraterrestrials for themselves. With live videos and interviews, how could you question if it's not true when they have it all on tape? An unknown author from the Internet Movie Database website gives a synopsis of the movie for viewers to get a more clear and further understanding of what the movie is about. He states, in 1972, a scale of measurement was established for alien encounters. When a UFO is sighted, it is called an encounter of the first kind. When evidence is collected, it is known as an encounter of the second kind. When contact is made with extraterrestrials, it is the third kind. The next level, abduction, is the fourth kind. Modern-day Alaska, where mysteriously, since the 1960s, a disproportionate amount of people have been reported missing every year. Despite multiple FBI investigations of the region, the truth has never been discovered. Here in this remote region, psychologist Dr. Abigail Tyler began videotaping sessions with traumatized patients and unwittingly discovered some of the most disturbing evidence of alien abduction ever documented. The Fourth Kind exposes the terrified revelations of multiple witnesses. This movie made me become more interested in finding out more about aliens and if they really do exist. And in doing my research, I found out that they do. Today I'm going to prove to you that aliens do exist by providing you with some factual information regarding this issue. I obtained all of my information from credible and reliable sources to make this point more convincing. Since the 1960s, there have been numerous documents of extraterrestrial sightings across the map. In visiting the National UFO Reporting Center website, I found that there were a great number of reported sightings from ordinary people who all shared a common explanation of what exactly it was that they saw. The sightings are from different states who all have similar descriptions of what they thought to be a UFO hovering in the sky. Most of the descriptions described a boomerang-shaped object with flashing lights silently hovering in the sky. How could all these people have seen the same thing in an hourly time span when they are completely opposite sides of the country? These sightings occurred all over the United States, and I found it peculiar that they all had very similar descriptions of what they saw. In the article, Air Force Colonel reports lights not of this world from the WorldNet Daily website, a retired pilot describes what he thinks to be an unidentified object flying over Chicago O'Hare Airport. Bill, 61, was cooking chicken at his Van Buren, Arkansas home on January 9, 2007. When just before 7 o'clock p.m., he observed two intensely bright lights as he looked to the southeast, close to the horizon. At first I thought they were landing lights from an aircraft, he said. As I continued to observe them, they began to slowly disappear. Then suddenly one reappeared, followed by two, then three. On at least one occasion, 4 or 5 appeared. Each time it would slowly fade and eventually disappear. This occurred several times, and when they would reappear, they might do so in differing numbers and in different positions, sometimes in a triangular shape, sometimes on top of each other. The retired colonel spent close to 32 years in the military, flying F-16s as a member of the 188th Fighter Wing of the Arkansas Air National Guard. So if anyone would know if it was for sure a plane or not, it would be him. I'm certain it wasn't an aircraft from Earth, said Bill, who also ruled out the possibility of flares, saying they didn't descend like flares usually do. It's not anything I had ever had experience with. They were some kind of energy or something. Like other recent sightings from ordinary people, Bill's description of what he saw was very similar to the descriptions of many others around the world. The evidence of a UFO crash in 1947 in Roswell, New Mexico is full of proof that aliens do exist, and that the government will do whatever possible to cover it up. In an article titled 1947 Roswell UFO Crash, written by Billy Booth, it explains what exactly happened on that day. He states, when the first reports of an alien crashed aircraft reached the general public, many people felt the long-awaited proof of extraterrestrial intelligence had come. The news spread worldwide when the Air Force announced they had a flying saucer in their possession. But hopes were soon dashed. A second news flash proclaimed it was nothing more than a weather balloon. Why would the government keep such vital information from the public? The public's interest was resurrected when ufologists William Moore and Stan R. Friedman, who were senior intelligence officer at Roswell Air Force Base, had admitted to seeing the UFO. Debris from the crash was also found in a Roswell sheep rancher's field by his house. The wreckage was tiny pieces of shiny metallic metal. Jesse Marcel, senior intelligence officer at Roswell Air Force Base, was notified of this and came to the ranch to see for himself. He states, "When we arrived at the crash site, it was amazing to see the vast amount of area it covered. It scattered over an area of about 3/4 of a mile long. It was definitely not a weather or tracking device, nor was it any sort of plane or missile." Despite the military's inadequate ability to cover up such findings, many people from Roswell still believe that it was a UFO that crashed that day. In another perspective, cross circles are proof that UFOs have touched the Earth. So you may find yourself wondering, what exactly is a cross circle? The definition for cross circles is an area of standing cross that has been flattened in the form of a circle or more complex pattern. No general cause of cross circles has been identified, although various unorthodox explanations have been put forward. In the article, The Truth About Cross Circles, written by Ken Amos, she states, "Some theoriologists, which are people who study cross circles, say that these diagrams must be created by intelligent alien beings from elsewhere. Even though these diagrams must be constructed in a very short time span, the genuine cross circles never showed any serious mistakes or blunders in execution. What other explanation is there for such extraordinary detailed art in a field of grain in the middle of nowhere? There hasn't been any actual sightings of aliens leaving tracks of cross circles behind them, but I don't have any idea what else could have caused this." Today I have provided solid proof that aliens are real. Hopefully my argument has persuaded you into the direction that aliens do exist. In ending the speech, I will leave you with a famous quote from the book, The Bible, according to Albert Einstein. "Given the millions of billions of Earth-like planets, life elsewhere in the universe without a doubt does exist. In this vastness of the universe, we are not alone." Thank you.
You want me to close it?
Yes, please. So, Omar, what did you think?
She had a good preview about what we should talk about by talking about the movies and stuff. And she had good transitions and good support to support her statement. And she had a good ending with a quote.
All right, it's good all the way around, apparently. Okay. Let's see. The Zoom page. There was a sneeze in there too, wasn't there? All right, Michelle, I thought you had an interesting topic. The opening, talking about the movie experience, was okay. That's a good kind of setup for the content. I think you want to develop the need a little bit more about why it is that we should be thinking about this, why it's important. On the sightings, I thought that that's probably where your argument's going to be the strongest because of the similarity of the sightings and the frequency of those sightings. It seemed a little bit less developed than it might have been because you rely just on the one experience and then you just try and point out how all the others are going to be similar to it. I think we could use a little detail on some of those others. Then you kind of shift to Roswell, and Roswell's always been controversial. I think that because you're kind of taking it as a given that it happened the way it's been described and you dismiss the explanations without telling us why those explanations are unreasonable, that's a little bit problematic. I do like the fact, though, that you focus on the one person who gives you credibility on that, the guy who's supposed to be the intelligence expert from the base itself. And then on the crop circles, I think the problem here is that from your reasoning, it's largely one of those things, well, what else could it be, therefore it must be that. And I'm not sure that that's the strongest form of reasoning. You might also tell us a little bit more about the crop circles, how frequently they occur, in what kinds of circumstances, what designs they seem to have been involving. And since you have, what are they called, cereologists, people who study crop circles, I'm sure that they've got some opinions on what all those things mean too. You might quote a couple of those people. I thought you told the stories pretty well, but like I said, maybe you take them at face value a little too quickly, and I think you need to deal with people's reservations on some of those points.